If you've been in the scene long enough, you know that whenever it comes to glass pads specifically, a lot of glass pads are covered in anime girl pads. But today I bring you the Cataclysm from Tenta-X, and if you're worried about an anime girl, fear not, Tenta-X has you covered. Getting into the Tenta-X Cataclysm, the pad comes in at 490 by 420 and it's 4 millimeters thick. The base is using a silicone rubber just to help make sure that the pad doesn't move around on your desk. And ultimately, whenever we talk about glass pads, it always comes down to the surface and how the pad performs. The thing that I really like about this pad is the extra dynamic friction that it provides that other glass pads don't. So typically when you use glass, the faster it gets, typically you don't have any extra dynamic friction to help kind of bring the pad, kind of have the pad help you in terms of tracking, in terms of target switching. It's purely based off of your mouse mechanics. With this pad, I feel like the extra dynamic friction really helps provide a little bit more in terms of stopping power. So, I mean, at least in terms of using the pad, it's super fast. I mean, the mouse is going to go wherever you want it to be. But the one thing that this pad helps with is just extra stopping power. So yes, it's glass, it's fast, it's going to go wherever you want it to, but whenever you want it to stop, it stops. I always mention whenever we talk about glass pads, or I have a glass pad review, typically whenever you have cloth pads, you're going to have you're going to have more friction, you're going to have a different surface feel, you're going to have a different texture on the surface and the textile that's used. So cloth pads in general are going to help you more. On the pad, it's going to give you more help whenever you're tracking, whenever you're doing any kind of aim training. You're getting more assistance from the pad because of the extra friction that the pad has. You generally don't have that on glass. But the one thing, again, that I like about this pad is just that extra stopping power, where typically whenever you're using glass, when you do like a flick, it's typically faster where you're having to put more effort into stopping, where the pad kind of, if you're not tracking or you're not stopping the mouse where it needs to, you get a little bit more, or it kind of moves by itself. So you're having to put more effort into where you want it to stop. But this pad definitely helps in providing more of that stability whenever it comes to target switching and tracking overall. So overall, whenever we talk about the performance of the pad, I really enjoyed using this pad. It performs really well. And like I mentioned, the extra stopping power that this has is perfect whenever it comes to gameplay. The only thing that I would mention is when it gets shipped to you, it does have a plastic piece on the back that whenever you take it off, it does have a strong chemical smell. I know for some, I know that that can be an issue. It does go away after a while, but it does take some time for it to go away. So that's really the only negative thing I have to say about the pad. Ultimately, whenever we talk about the performance, this thing is insane. I really enjoy using this, and I mean, when we talk about the design, there's very few glass pads that have done anything similar to this. So I think they offered a new design, something that most people are going to enjoy and like. Personally, I think it looks sick and the performance is right there along with the design. With that being said, if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the comment section down below, and I will catch you all next time. Start a riot.